Hey guys, welcome back to Farm Up with me, Dr. Daniel, the passionate farmer, where I teach you everything to do with farming. So because the farm is new, well, not really new, but recently acquired, that means that there is a lot of work going into the farm right now. A lot has to be adapted to exactly what we want it to be. And with a lot of work, that means there is a lot of, guys who need to come around to do the work. And that's especially with the building. You guys can see our chicken house right there in the background. I know the roof is very bright, so you might not see, but we have a lot of workers doing the building of the chicken house, of the hatchery where we're going to have the incubators, and then we have the guys who are helping to grow the maize, grow the crops around. The maize is going to be very, very important for our poultry because we want to be as self-sufficient as possible. Then we also have the guys who are helping us look after the sheep and the goats over there. Right here is the corral, the staff who are helping us look after the chickens, and all the technical work, the people who are helping us with security. That means that there is a lot of people on the farm. That's over 50 people working on the farm, in addition to everyone else who is helping to do with the supervision and all that kind of work. So if we needed to buy food every day for all the people working on the farm, we would run bankrupt in one day. So that makes this section of the farm such a very important section of the farm. In here is where we try to be as self-sufficient as possible, where we try to cut the costs of feeding as much as possible. We are trying to feed ourselves completely independent of the outside. Everything that's going to be eaten on the farm, we want to try our very best to make sure it comes from this farm. And so today I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what we are growing and what we are trying to do to ensure that we are self-sufficient in terms of feed. So please stick around. We will start off on an unfortunate note. Yesterday we had a terrible storm, guys. It's not usual that we have such rain here in Uganda, here on the farm, with lots of wind blowing. It's not very common for us. Now yesterday the wind was strong enough that it threw down our pawpaw tree. So we have quite a number of pawpaw trees around. Where I'm standing right now, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can count 7 pawpaw trees. So that means we have quite an amount of fruit around us. This fell down yesterday with the rain. And guys, our soils on the farm and in Uganda generally are quite firm. They're not weak soils. They're not the kinds of soils where something will blow and everything just falls. No, they're actually quite really good soils. But this is a very unfortunate one. So we've lost some pawpaws currently. Moving on from that, when we enter this section of the greenhouse, we have a vegetable that I really, really love. Now in my country, we call it dodo. You guys can see it right here. It's called dodo. It's a very, very tasty vegetable. In English, I wouldn't know the English name, but I think the Latin name is amaranthus. I don't know if it's English or Latin. It sounds Latin. So that's amaranthus, the species. Very, very good for providing, vitamins and even protein. And then right here we have tomatoes, guys. Yeah. So tomatoes can become really expensive sometimes, when they are off season. So we decided to grow our very own, and we decided to grow them in this shaded area because it ensures that you have better productivity. The tomatoes don't dry out as much. They're generally better looked after in such an environment. And the advantage is that this even protects it from the kind of storm that we had yesterday. If these tomatoes had put on fruits, or if they had been supported and then the storm that we had yesterday came, we would lose everything. You would have completely nothing, Tomatoes are very, very volatile and very vulnerable. So this is a very nice setup to protect them. Then here, guys, quite a relatively big garden on this side, and on this side we have green peppers. This section, which currently has been planted with green peppers, last year had tomatoes. So this time we decided to recycle it and put green pepper over here. Eggplants, guys, here we have eggplants. Oh my god, I'll just pick out one if you guys don't know what eggplants are. Guys, these are eggplants, yeah? And guys, I detest eggplants. Oh my god, I can never ask for eggplants with a sober mind. Growing up, I ate too much eggplant. You know, in Uganda, historically, eggplants are really, really cheap. They're easy to grow and lots of people grow them, so that makes them really cheap. So while we were growing up, sometimes in times of hardship, we ate lots of eggplants. Now, there are two types of eggplants. We have this, and we also have this. You guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this type of eggplants. This I actually do like. I wouldn't say I love, but this I can eat. This, no way. I don't love it. I ate it too much growing up because it's what was available and cheap that I detest it. I just can never ask for it. Anyway, we've grown a very huge garden of eggplants, and of course the rest of the world is not like me. I don't define the rest of the world. So the rest of the people do eat the eggplants. And then over here we have kale. Oh my god, guys, I had never seen kale flower. Just look at this. I'd never seen it reach this level. Usually we eat it up before it gets to this level. I think right here there's just too much variety. Sometimes people ignore it. So you can see that the garden actually has flowers. Oh my god, the kale has flowered. That means it's actually going to get seeds, right? If it does flower, that means it's about to put on seeds. I think we shall keep one of them and see what happens to it, yeah? So kale is very, very nutritious. When we do get supplemental kale, we give it to the local chickens, you know, and the dual-purpose birds. Now, the storm yesterday was actually too bad that it did floor one of the kale plants right here. You can see it has its flowers on, but it has been thrown down. Guys, I love kale. Oh my god. Oh yes, it does have seeds already, guys. It's not just planning on putting on seeds. It has already put on seeds. You can see, you know, the pods for the kale. So I think this one is now not really edible. I think the leaves are too mature to be eaten. So we're just going to be arresting the seeds and probably planting them again. This is a nice one. I'd never seen kale grow up to this level. And this is cabbage right here. You guys can see it. It looks really nice in the garden, you know. Really nice. You can see it over there in the background. Another one of the ones that I really don't love because I ate too much of it growing up again because it was really cheap and it was very available at home. So with a sober mind, I can never really say I want to eat cabbage. But it's nutritious and it's over here. I would go for better alternatives like kale, spinach. Those I can eat. This, no. But I know that a lot of people do love it. So we grow it over here on the farm. Speaking of spinach, we do have spinach right here. And spinach, I do like. I think because it does have a kale-like vibe to it. You know, if you look at the leaves, they appear more or less like kale. And even the taste is not so far away. So spinach, I actually do love. And here, right next to the spinach, is another tomato garden, you know, right here. So quite a good supply of tomatoes. By the way, I don't know if you guys can notice, we have a line of posts running through the garden, you know, all the way to the end and then moves the other side. Same here. And that's because we have the chicken house very close by, you know, in this direction. So the purpose of this is that we've measured 30 meters from the chicken structure to this fence. We don't want anything to come within 30 meters of the chicken structure for purposes of biosecurity, you know, obvious reasons. So we're going to fence this out once we get the harvest of the kale, of the tomatoes, of the, what's the other side? I'll need to move over and see what's placed there. Then we shall not need to plant anything over here. We'll make sure it's vacant and just try to safeguard our money as much as possible. Watermelon. Here we have watermelon, guys. Quite an amount of watermelon, but it does need quite some weeding. You know, the guys who are working with the crops have been very, very busy trying to plant maize on the rest of the farm, yeah? So we did decide to plant more maize than we had actually planned. So we've planted way more than 100 acres, you know, of maize. Way more than what we had actually planned. But now that planting the maize is almost done, they're going to come back here and do a lot of the weeding. Quite an amount of weeds growing in here. Guys, the green pepper looks really, really nice. It just makes me feel like eating it raw. Just see how beautiful and nice it looks. Oh my God. If only I could eat it raw. This I'm going to pick some of, you know. Go and eat some of it today. Whoo, guys, here we have sweet potatoes. These I do love. I really do love sweet potatoes. And you guys can see how they grow. Over here in Uganda, I don't know how it's done in some parts of the world, but here we do dig heaps to plant the sweet potatoes. I know there are people who plant potatoes differently. I've seen it on YouTube, guys who just get the potato and put it in the soil. For us, we never get the potato and put it in the soil. No, we just plant the leaves. You do see these leaves, you know. You just get part of the shoot, put it in the soil. It grows. So you can see this entire garden of sweet potatoes. It's just full of hips, yeah, for the potatoes. And these are really a delicacy. I'm sorry I'm making the video about me. But it's not a terrible thing to tell you guys what I love, right? Yeah, I really hope it's not a terrible thing. And then this, what we did recently, I can see we don't have lots of weeds in the sweet potatoes, you know. You can see the entire distance. But the beans, my God, my. Guys, look at the weeds. It looks like, I don't know, a forest. There's too much grass growing in here. So like I said, once the planting of the maize is done, which is going to be very soon, then we are going to move to weeding these beans, yeah? But we planted beans here and the beans are quite a lot. You see the thick green vegetation? All that is beans. Moving into the distance, into the background, all that is beans. Into the distant background, you know, all that is beans. And it's because beans are consumed a lot on the farm. You know, they're a very good source of protein. Very conducive, you know, for a cheap, easy, efficient source of protein. And lastly, guys, woo, bananas. No, not plantain. Yellow bananas, you know, the small tiny yellow ones. Then the bigger ones, you know, the small tiny ones here in Uganda, we call them ndizi. The bigger ones, these are the bigger ones, you know. The yellow bananas that are commonly present in the rest of the world. These are called, well, yellow bananas. Here we call them bogoya. Then there is matoke, which I think the rest of the world calls plantain. Plantain tastes weird though, it's very different. But we have matoke. So you guys can see all this, you know, all this in the background. Even right here. Here we have beans down, but we have yellow bananas, you know, the young ones over here. But you can see all this in the background. This is matoke. And certainly this is my very best food. You know, I love matoke with all my heart. So we've planted quite a lot of it present in here. That way we can eat lots of yellow bananas, provide ourselves with potassium and the vitamins that we need. Very lovely over here. What do you think? In fact, tell me in the comment section below. Have you eaten matoke before? Do you even know what matoke is? It's a delicacy for us over here in Uganda. Tell me what you think. We just boil it over here. Sometimes we, you know, mash it. We just boil it sometimes. Sometimes we just roast it. Really tasty. Do you know what it tastes like? Tell me in the comment section below. Chili pepper over here. This one, you either love it or you hate it. I personally love it. Do you guys love it or hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. This, a very delicious spice. And like I already told you guys, we do have lots and lots of maize growing on the farm. Not simply for the purposes of the chickens, but also for consumption on the farm. The maize can be milled and made into maize flour, you know. Here we cook it and make what we call posho. So it's like a cake made from maize flour, which some people love. I personally don't, because again, I ate too much of it growing up. So it's not something I ask for consciously, but we've grown lots of it. So that's how we are trying to sustain ourselves. Of course, I told you guys about the chickens. We have chickens on the farm, the local chickens, the dual-purpose chickens. Those are for consumption on the farm. And once in a while, you know, you can kill a goat, a sheep, just to be happy and celebrate. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell. That way you never miss out on an upload. Lots of love. Catch you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.